Ski trail was right over there. Yeah. Bob goes, it goes right over.
Well, we need to order at 7 o'clock. Please give the cap, all rise and pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Hill.
Here.
Clerk Squires.
Here.
Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoppy.
Here.
Austin.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, please say
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now on to the approval of the consent agenda. Follow the rest of the agenda, including our reports. Please make use of the paper back there. We make. Thank you. Somebody saying you can't hear. Can you hear me any better now? Oh, you can. Okay, super. Thank you. Jason, if there's any adjustments. So, okay, thank you. We're now onto the consent agenda. And again, as I started to say, hey, listen, we kill a lot of trees over there first. So please, pick it up, the reports and things like that. Okay, thank you. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson,
I'll second.
supported by Trustee Hoppy. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you. We're to the point in the agenda for public comments on agenda business only. 1 through 12, as you see it there. If you have a desire to speak out on any one of those, we will be taking action on each and every one of those tonight. And we painfully discussed them all for 3.5 hours on last Thursday. For good discussion, it's available on YouTube for your viewing. If you would like. Are there any comments? Okay, not hearing any then. Before we start this quick agenda, I do want to thank my board members. We did have a 3.5 hour meeting on Thursday. Thank you for working through this so we could get this many things done and try and keep the train on the tracks. So thanks much. Number 1 on our agenda is the ceremonial pinning and swearing in of Christy Gilliam as our new Gerrish Township Fire and EMS Chief. And my understanding is tonight, retired Chief Fisher has come back and we'll be doing her pinning in camera. We'll be right up here in front of the flags. I'd like to tell anybody in the audience that, if any time throughout it, if you might need or want to get pictures, then please feel free to come up here and get it. These are some of the great times. Michelle, you want to do the ceremonial swear-in?
That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the state. Constitution of the state. And I will faithfully perform the duties. Of the office of Fire EMS Chief. Office of Fire EMS Chief. And for the Township of Gerrish. Township of Gerrish. County of Roscommon. County of Roscommon. In the state of Michigan. According to the best of my ability. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. So help me God. Yeah.
On up closer, right up here. Make sure we get the good photo. Absolutely. That family, friends, anybody? You'll be able to get one for the paper, probably the paper's not here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Congrats, Christie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming to doing that before us. So kind of a tradition we started a while ago, and I'd like to see it continue. So thank you very much. And thank you to all of those that came to see Christie. But as I always say, when there's special interests like that on the agenda, you will not hurt our feelings if you feel like you need to leave and not sit through the rest of the meeting. That is up to you. So I knew B'd take it. He'd be, I'm up. Awesome. Very well. Thank you. All right, we're on to number 2 in the agenda, which is the approval of the 2025 preventative maintenance plan for Gerrish Township Road. We obviously talked about this stuff on Thursday. Briefly, for the benefit of the township, it came in a lot cheaper from the road commission. They were initially telling us over and above the road millage that if we wanted to stay on our road plan, it would cost us about almost 66 something thousand just to stay on the plan over and above the 1 mil that was voted by the citizenry to the Roscommon County Road Commission for the road plan several years ago. And due to apparently the lack of road work and type of thing going around, they were able, and some reduction in the pricing of the goods. So it's going to cost us $18,756 and to stay on the road. So we got a significant savings. We did budget for the entire amount. So we feel we're smiling today.
Yes, we
So, with that being said, I would entertain a motion that the board authorize the supervisor and clerk to sign on behalf of Gerrish Township for the 2025 local road improvement plan as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you for the motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. We're on to number 3, the Michigan Township participating plan. This is the overall property liability for the entire township, and does also include police, fire, EMS, community park, marina, all the various exposures that we have. So I would entertain a motion that the board approve the 2025-2026 Michigan Township participating plan renewal as presented for a total of $61,644. That does reflect a 9% increase in premiums from the stated coverages. Any board member will make that motion.
So moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson. Any support?
I'll support.
Support by Clerk Squires. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. We're on now into number 4, which is we are going to be asking to accept a letter of resignation. And that is from the Gerrish Township Police Department's custodial position. So I would entertain a motion that the board accept the resignation of the Police Department custodian Pam Long's letter of resignation due to personal reasons.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Hoppy.
Second.
Seconded by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. For you, those of you that don't know, she had kind of a life-changing event, which forced her to take a look at some of her priorities. And so we're going to miss her. She was fantastic at her job. She will be hard to replace. Okay, we're on to number 5, which is authorizing the chief to fill that open custodial position. So I would entertain a motion that the board authorize Chief Mashinsky to immediately fill the open custodial position vacated by that resignation.
So moved.
Second.
Say that.
Moved by Clerk Squires, seconded by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Good luck with that replacement, look there. And number 6, this is for the mobile digital computer system infrastructure technology update for the police department. And we've heard over the course of probably about 2 meetings anyways, their efforts to bring our MDC systems and our patrol cars to have an upgrade and of different computers in there that are old.
I mean, it's more advanced and
Yes,
keeping up with technology in today's policing world.
very good. And as you're about to find out, it's not cheap. So I would entertain a motion that the board authorize Chief Mashinsky to approve and spend up to $25,044 for the mobile digital computer systems infrastructure technology upgrade to outfit 3 patrol cars to accommodate the modern technology.
Make that motion.
By Trustee Hoppe,
Second.
second by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion, board? Not a discussion, but just a comment, if you will. The chief did and has applied for a Michigan Township participating plan insurance grant to get some money back, if you will, on that, but we don't know and we need to move forward. So.
Yeah.
All right, no further discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. That motion carried. Number 7 is going to be a motion that looks to approve a full-time employment of a fire and medic for Gerrish Township. This would have been a position that was vacated by the elevation of Chief Gilliam to her current chief role as fire and EMS. So I would entertain a motion to authorize Chief Gilliam to hire Josh Thompson as a full-time fire/medic pursuant to a successful completion of a background, physical, drug screening, and additionally be enrolled and successfully pass the next firefighter 1 and 2 certification course as scheduled by the department. But we'll make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Motion by Trustee Hoppe.
Second.
Second by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, motion carries. Thank you. And the next one has to do with this year as one of our priorities to our budget was in some technology upgrade for our particular general township offices. We have an aging server that needs to be replaced. This is going to come in some stages, but we have about 5 towers or workstations that are going to need to be replaced because they're aging out. And then ultimately, for those that weren't here for the work session, if there's enough money left from what we budgeted, we're going to try and get the board converted over to some small tablets or laptops so that we quit burning paper by the hundreds and constantly having our clerk's office have to make copies 2 different times, about 4 days apart. So there's plenty of savings in the paper, I will assure you. But nonetheless, so that being said, I would entertain a motion that the board authorize the purchase and installation of a new Gerrish Township server to be installed by the Kodiak Group IT for the cost of $6,476.19. And it would be shared between the township and the Gerrish Fire and EMS.
So moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson,
I'll second.
seconded by Trustee Hoppe. Any further discussion?
I think he's also going to be updating the operating system in there.
Yeah, by force, yes. Windows 10 is expiring on in October of this year. And no computers or towers are going to be built without Windows 11 in them. So the towers that we buy in the future here, I talked to him a couple of days ago, he's also going to try and get a Windows server 2025. When he quoted this out, that wasn't ready yet, but he's confident that we should be able to swap that out without additional financial resources. So that we're not buying a copy of 2022 server that, is now updated as well. So we're working on those pieces. So we had a motion, we had a second, we did a discussion. And did we do all in favor? I don't remember.
Oh, we didn't do all in
I don't
favor.
think
of
so.
it.
All in
I
favor
don't think
indicate
so.
by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Same motion carried. Thank you. Number 9, the ongoing saga of our water here at the Gerrish Township Hall. After getting our new well and getting things done and properly, finally getting rid of any traces of any old bacterias and whatever through many tests, we discovered that our iron count in this building is off the charts. And so we can't accomplish it with the current ionizing system that we had. So therefore, the board, we consulted and I'll entertain a motion that the board authorize the purchase and installation of the Sanitizer Plus Series Model ASP 2-1054 water softener for Gerrish Township Fire and EMS Department and the Township Hall at the cost of $3,400 as presented.
so moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson,
Support.
support by Clerk Squires. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. The opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. We're on to number 10, which is a Parks and Recs plan update and a motion that's necessary to meet some timelines. The Parks and Recs committee had been working on the 5-year Parks and Recs plan from 2026 to 2030 now, and have to submit that obviously with the state. And so I would entertain a motion that the board authorize the placement of the 5-year Parks and Recreation proposed plan 2026-2030, public notice in the newspaper and online to have available for public comment to satisfy a minimum of a 30-day requirement for viewing and input by the public.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
By Clerk Squires, supported by Trustee Hoppy. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Brief note on that. We'll get it out on there and it's meant for public consumption. It's meant for the public to take a look. It's meant for public comments, for potential adjustment. It's not a formally approved document yet.
There's a hard copy
And-
of one.
Yeah, it's 50 pages long, but there's a hard copy out there. But there will be on the internet just as soon as I can get some moments in the next day or two to get it out there on the internet. But please take a look at it. These people were really hard on these things, and I think it's important that everybody know what they're doing for our community. For nothing, by the way. It's a committee of free people, essentially non-paid. So number 11, we at this time we have been reconditioning those Parks and Recs committee to get it back on a proper stance and number and those kinds of things, which we've done at previous board meetings. So with that, I would like to entertain a motion that the board reappoint Gerrish Township trustee Mary Jo Hoppy as a liaison to the Parks and Recreation Committee.
I'll move. Make that move.
Support.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson, supported by Clerk Squires. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Number 12, the Parks and Rec committee members. Along with that, we asked for shall I say, application and reapplication to this committee. There were 6 positions that are available. 2 will be 3-year, 2 will be 2-year, and 2 will be 1 years. Until that'll get them on staggered times in the future, so we don't have whole boards coming at once going out. So with that, we currently have 4, and Mary Jo, was the liaison, that properly followed the directions and did apply. And so before us today, we have a potential motion that the board appoint the following to the Parks and Recreation Committee for the following terms. Susan Seemack is recommended for a 3-year term expiring April 8th, 2028. Mary Ellen O'Keefe, a 2-year position expiring 4/8 of 2027. Dan Simon, and that is spelled Simon. For a 1-year expiring 4/8 of 26. And Mitch Larson for a 1-year expiring 4/8 of 26. So we have 2 new positions or 2 positions yet available. One for obviously 3-year and one for a 2-year appointment. So we hope that people will go out and if you wish to serve on it, please go out to the website. The committee applications are there. Just fill them out and get them back to the clerk. And we hope to continue to make appointments till the 7-person board is fulfilled. So we have a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Clerk Squires.
Second.
Thank you, Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion? I'm not hearing any. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And opposed the same. Thank you. And thank you to them for their willingness to go through this reorganization with us and to re-up, if you will, there. I think everybody was Dan on the board last year?
I think it's new.
So Dan would be new. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, we're now on to the point in the meeting where we have regular public comment, meaning anything that's on your mind. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. We'll ask you to approach the chair here and turn that microphone on and be heard. Does anybody got anything you'd like to tell us? Okay, not seeing anybody.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
where you at?
Hi. Yes, I'm Lori Andrews. I'm in Gerrish
I'm sorry, could you
Township.
speak up just a little bit?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Sure, now we can.
Okay. I'm Lori Andrews. I am wondering who is responsible for keeping Sheridan Drive, well, they call it Sheridan Trail now. I'm wondering who's responsible for keeping that trail open and clear for walkers. Sheridan Drive
Chief, do you want to take
turned
that?
into the trail, and now I'm wondering who's responsible for maintaining the trail.
Generally, it is the people right along Sheridan Drive. That was all a settlement back, oh boy, I don't know.
Right,
How
yeah,
many years ago?
a long time,
And
yeah.
so generally, each of the residents have been taking care of their stuff, but the township has no stake in it per se. And the road commission, that was what happened. They actually stepped away from it and said, we're no longer involved, and that's not a road for us. It's just a trail with the restrictions that I'm sure you're probably familiar with. But there is nothing in that order that I recall right off the top of my head that indicates who's going to maintain for the future.
Okay, so is it open to the public then?
It is absolutely open to the public for foot traffic, no
Right.
motorized vehicles.
Right. Well, my question then is, if for example, I don't want to point fingers at anyone. If for example, someone is planting their grass over the trail, extending their yard across the trail so that the trail kind of like disappears or appears to end.
Yep,
Who
and
do
they may do so in that settlement. They can improve, if you will, at risk. However, it does not refrain or say that you cannot walk across that, ride your bicycle across it, or otherwise.
So how do we know where where's the demarcation? How do you know where the trail is if it appears to have disappeared under the grass?
I would only give you the advice of it was initially a 12-foot roadway maintained in a Supreme Court order to 8
Right.
foot. So I would say if you took a look at those intersection roads, there's 4 foot on each side of that, which makes 8 feet. But there is no one that is responsible to cut paths down through it. And if they
Okay.
have put grass, sod, whatever it might be across it,
Mhm.
They just can't, they can't physically, shall we say, obstruct it from walkers or from bicyclists, but they cannot use motor vehicles,
Right.
mopeds, ORVs. On that.
Right.
That's the best I can tell you, Lori. I
Okay.
can certainly, if you wanted to call one day, give me your email address. I can send you a copy of the order itself.
Mhm.
That would be
Okay.
the most up to date. But the township doesn't have a Department of Public Works. That's why it didn't accept the road end or the road from the Roscommon County Road Commission.
Well, not exactly, but okay, yeah. Yeah, Gerrish Township did try to get that road back, but then they lost in court. So then there was a settlement because instead of appealing the court's decision, Gerrish Township entered into a settlement with the Sheridan Drive Association, and the resolution was it would be a trail. And
correct.
so now we have a situation where I don't want to ascribe
understand.
intentions. Yeah, we just have a situation where there are it appears to have the trail appears to have disappeared under people's lawns. So I'm just wondering, so what you're saying is as long as there's no obstructions like big rocks or something like that that keeps you from passing through there, you just walk on people's grass?
It's their grass, but it's your public trail and right away to walk across it.
Okay, so if you, how do you, if someone comes out and yells at you, and this is not unheard of, if somebody comes out and yells at you and says you're on private property, what should you do?
They're incorrect. You can continue walking on it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will, Chief, I will send you my email, and if you could send me the document, that would be great, so that I would have something to work with. But thank you for answering my questions. That's all I have.
Sure. Also, Lori, I also will, Chief Mashinsky can get a hold of our contact down there, which is Brad Gibson, who has been good over the past with mediating such issues had they become a problem.
Okay.
So he can certainly get a hold of Brad. He's here tonight. Not Brad, but Chief Mashinsky. And we're happy to do that. And if you, like I said, if you want to call me or email me and email you're at, I'll send you a scanned version of that particular court ruling.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Happy to help. Anybody else? Okay, very good. Board, any announcements?
Bowling on Saturday.
Anybody want to expound on that? Bowling on Saturday?
Bowling on Saturday.
Yeah, we have all the teams are full, but everyone's still welcome to come over.
Yep.
50/50 drawing. They'll be at Fred's. You come and have lunch. And both sides, there's Chinese raffle with some great prizes. You can put in bills also. And I think we decided we had to be present for the 50/50 drawing. You can't even buy your tickets and go to somebody.
Okay. For anybody that couldn't hear, that's Act Now with the Advisory Community Team Neighbors on Watch. What time does it start?
Registration at 11:30.
Bowling starts at noon.
Starts at noon.
And we usually start drawing, the drawings will probably take place about between 3 and 3:30.
So if you wanted to come and partake in the Chinese raffles that are there for the various items, if they got there at 2:30, 3 o'clock, you could buy your tickets, stick them in, and hang around for another half hour, 40 minutes, and probably you have to be present to win, obviously. But it's a great little fundraiser for Act Now at Fred's. Fred's does a great job for us over there. Wonderful people, so come and join us. I guess it would be good. I understand I'm spending my Saturday there, so I've been told. Any other announcements, board, Muzz?
We just remind everybody of the public sale of the police car, police car.
Oh, okay.
Last month we didn't get any bids on it, so we lowered the price on it, sent the theory for it. But somebody looking for a car, be a nice reliable car for somebody, so that's some life left in it. In good shape, so we can spread the word.
Okay.
What's the metal that is gonna be there?
We'll be putting that out probably next week, so we usually do it around the middle of April.
The 15th.
So being the
Okay.
15th, the weather broke, so we'll get it out there and then we'll get that posted in there.
Okay. Any other announcements or otherwise?
When the compost gonna open?
Oh, stop. The formal words are on every sign May 1st. And I was promised by the company they would have all that big, half of the rest of the half of that big compost mountain over there sitting right flat in the middle of it done. It's supposed to have been out of here by Friday, but it did not occur. And weather had a little bit obviously to do with it, but just as quick as we can make an evaluation of what it looks like after they remove mount compost in the middle and make sure that it's solid enough that we don't do more damage to our site. Although the weather looks like it might break, but it still gets awful moist over there underneath. That's a very hot product, that compost did. And it keeps that ground pretty soupy. And but if we can get it to where I'm going to take a look at it probably by Friday. And if we can get some cones out to get people to follow the cones to be able to put their brush in there, then we can get it open earlier, as long as they'll follow those cones and not get messed up in the middle. And I think we might be able to. There might be a way around it or in front of it that didn't look too bad out there today, but we're working on it. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, I thought inquiring minds might want to know.
Yeah. Well, we all know that, there's branches and we need to get them cleaned up, and we just all need to be fortunate that we weren't Gaylord and
Gosh,
My
those.
gosh.
Very good. Any other comments?
grateful we have an emergency manager. I'm here. I do want to say,
Yeah.
looking at some of the very close to us, townships.
Yeah, most people don't understand when you do those things and when it looks like the state and the feds are slow to the table. That has to have a local proclamation, if you will, or declaration of your emergency management to be able to contact the state to then access state and then state to access fed. That unlocks all the money. It unlocks the abilities when you're sitting at an emergency operations center that you can order in the planning area and the logistics, you can order what you need to alleviate, and then you fill out forms along the way, and then no one agency is left with a bill that you just can't afford type of thing. So that's why it looks like it rolls out slow.
That brought something else to mind, that not only did our emergency manager, Vanessa, go up there, was it Mount Morency County, but our Gerrish Township people were sent up there by Christy. She sent a crew up.
They requested. Where was it, Christy? Speak
Thank
for
you.
yourself.
They were taking care of one of their stations. They were running 50 to 75 calls a day when they were only running like 8 to 10.
Yep.
So they were requesting, I think, 10 ambulances, so we sent one of ours up.
It's all part of the mutual aid pact that you belong with, that we belong to in the state. And it's good to give them something, because we never know when we're going to need it in return.
Mm-hmm.
So, although it's difficult sometimes to part with a resource, even from your own community, but when you bleed, you all bleed together. And then, God hopes you never have that, but it certainly is a better reciprocal avenue if you did. So thanks, Christy, for
Thank you.
answering the call on that.
I'll stop.
Anything further? Nothing?
No, my coffee kicked in.
Final comments for board? Mary Jo?
All's good right now.
Which wire?
No, I'll let Jim talk.
My stuff's boring, but.
No, your stuff's exciting.
Jim? Go ahead.
Well, the taxes are all settled and paid and distributed to all the funds, and I expect that we're gonna do our own accruals ahead of the auditor, so by the end of April, we'll have officially closed the books, which has probably never happened before here. And so when the auditor comes, the theory, he will not have to make a single adjustment to to reconcile to the audit report. That's my point.
Perfect. Anything else?
No?
I will be,
Quite enough.
yeah, I'll be, Jim Anderson and I are meeting next week, you've heard us say before, to start looking at some long-term budget pieces, long-term budgeting more than just 1 year or 30 days. Ahead for the couple of years, trying to project some things out, look at our aging infrastructure. We have aging infrastructure, folks. It looks pretty good from the outside, but on the inside, she's rough in some of the areas. So we're going to take a look at that, including obviously we've got storage issues, cold storage issues, dry storage. We're sharing the old garage out here we're sharing it with mice and having to piece together some of those. But nonetheless, so we're going to work on that this next week and continue working forward and figuring out where we might be and working on some plans, obviously on the cemetery piece as well, on some of these budget centers that we had noted that were challenged at the time that we did our budget this year, our first budget as a new board. We're doing that also as a late in the game, just for the public out there, that our Gerrish Township attorney is scheduled to meet, good Lord willing, the creek doesn't rise, with Lyon Township's attorney regarding the dissolution processes for Gerrish Lyon Utility Authority on Thursday. And so obviously they're going to meet and we as a board await the results of that to continue to move processes forward. So that is the latest and the greatest as of probably this morning, I think. But
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Dang.
Other than that, I don't have anything more. If you have no more, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion to adjourn, and do I have support?
I'll support that.
Thank you. And by trustee Hoppy, motion by treasurer Anderson, and we'll be adjourning at
7:36. No,
7:37. 7:37. Any further discussion, board? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose the same. Motion carries. Thank you all for joining us. If you want to see some of that great discussion, you got to show up at the Thursday. Thank you.
Or you can watch it on YouTube.